So thank you all for being here at CreatorCon. If you're working in IT, as I imagine a lot of the people in the room are, the work of IT has actually changed a lot in the last 10 years. We got virtualization, we've got clouds, we've got PaaS, we've got SaaS. The work that is done in IT is very, very different. But if you're the average employee in a company, the work actually hasn't changed that much. You're still using emails, you're still tracking things in Excel, you're still, maybe when you have a shared file, it's not on an NFS mount, it's in a cloud repository, but it's still very much the same. Even if you're using SaaS apps, a lot of them have a pretty crappy enterprise UI. And so at ServiceNow, we want to bring the future of work to the world. And we've got 3 workflow clouds that we're providing that deliver a number of products to our customers to help transform work. But the reality is that it's the people in this room that are really going to be driving that transformation. And the reason for that is when you look at the world of work, there is so much more to the world of work than the workflows we're providing today. And that's why we provide a platform. And we're providing that platform to all of you so that you can change the world of work. It's the applications that you build in your companies that are really going to bring large-scale transformation. So our mission is to empower you, and your mission is to really bring on the future of work. So that's what we're going to do here at CreatorCon, is talk about the future of work and how you can build applications to bring it on. In the last year, you've had a tremendous impact already. We've seen custom applications that are built by this audience and other customers around the world grow by 170%. We've seen the users of those applications grow by 80%. So it's not just applications that are getting built, it's applications that are getting used. And we've seen the Army's rank swell with over 70% growth in the developer program. Now, I came to ServiceNow because of the platform. I love platforms. My love of platforms started back in the Windows 3.1 world when I built my first client-server application to help automate some airline operations. I went on to manage the Netscape One platform, helping people build internet applications, which was a new thing at the time. And then hybrid clouds with VMware and cloud native application platforms with Pivotal. But when I saw the ServiceNow platform, I was hooked. I was like, oh, I've got to be a part of that. And there were 2 big reasons. One was how differentiated the technology was. So the ServiceNow platform had workflow and integrations tightly coupled. I'd never seen that before. And all of the applications I'd ever written or been a part of had data from other systems and business logic that were really tightly wound together. I saw CMDB that was interesting in the context of IT use cases and very powerful there, but was actually a general purpose asset repository that you could use to drive all kinds of things and store all kinds of things. But it was really the dual role of the platform here that got me convicted. And it was because ServiceNow uses the platform to build our own products, or at the time their own products, and makes the same platform available to customers and partners. And that told me there's a commitment to the platform at ServiceNow that I'd never seen other places. If it's what we bet our life on, we're gonna give it to you to build applications and transform your organizations. So that's what got me here and my love of the platform. Now, CreatorCon is all about developers. This is where developers come on the last day of knowledge to get the really deep stuff, to see code. And you're gonna get lots and lots of that today. But today we're also gonna talk about a new group that we have at CreatorCon, and that's the builders. Builders don't write code. They use no-code tools to build applications. But both groups are gonna be essential to success in driving digital transformation. And that's because there are too many applications to be built for developers to build them all. And so we need a way that developers can empower builders. So developers bring deep platform expertise, the knowledge of how to write software programs, write code. And they also have the ability to empower the builders. The builders are gonna be able to use drag and drop tools to simply reuse components from the developers or things we provide out of the box and still build awesome applications. So both groups are gonna work together. The platform we're building is designed to serve both groups. So for developers, we're gonna give you an awesome application development platform that lets you write code with great productivity and work in teams. And for those of you who are already writing code in teams on the platform, we have some really exciting stuff for you to see today that I know based on the feedback I get, many of you are gonna be really pumped about. We're gonna let you develop your way, but we're also gonna ask you to help the builders. We're gonna ask you to build reusable components. We're gonna ask you to build reusable actions. We're gonna ask you to create things that your organization can use at scale. And the builders, you'll get no-code tools and low-code tools that you can drag and drop to build applications. And if you want to, because of the way we're designing the tool set, you'll be able to start no-code, drag and drop, and see the syntax and see the code along the way and slowly make your journey, if you choose, from no-code to low-code and even pro-code. You don't have to, but it's an option, and we want to be able to support that because this is important to helping everyone scale. That's what we're building into the platform, and that's what CreatorCon is. So to start today, I'd like to welcome to the stage one of you, a developer, an innovative individual at an innovative company from USAA. Please join me in welcoming Tyler Teeter. All right, Tyler, welcome. So I've told Tyler this before, but when we first met, I had a fanboy moment because I'm such a huge fan of USAA. I've been a customer for years, and the digital, anyone in the audience a USAA customer? Yeah, all right. The digital experience that we get being a USAA customer has been awesome from the start, better than any of my other financial institutions or really anybody I do business with. So I loved it, but then I was really excited to hear that they're transforming on the inside also. So Tyler, you're a big part of that. Tell us a little bit about your role and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I've been a ServiceNow developer for about 3 years now, with USAA about 8 months, and I help oversee the platform and also just empowering builders and developers to work at USAA.
Awesome, okay. So, you've built a number of different applications on the platform. I've got the words that I use for them are productivity apps and transformation apps, but that maps pretty well to the things you built. So tell us in your words, what are some of the applications you all built on the platform?
Yeah, so we have simple apps like requesting a new office phone or requesting a loaner laptop. And then we have more transformational mission-critical apps too, like Hoodoo.
Hoodoo, I love your naming schemes. So tell us, this is Hoodoo, for folks who are interested. Tell us about Hoodoo.
Yeah, so Hoodoo is how we manage all the on-call people across USAA and the schedules and the shifts. And it has a high correlation to assignment groups in ServiceNow.
So I would categorize this as kind of a transformation application in IT. It's not simple request fulfill. You did something bigger. It has a little more business logic. And for you all, this is core to your mission, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is also a very common customer journey that we see is you start with ITSM, build some productivity apps, and then build some transformation apps. That journey's happened at USA, and now you're at a pretty significant scale. So let's talk about the scale that you've reached.
Yeah, so we have about 318 delegated developers. Those are builders and developers. We have 22,000 users who use our apps on a day-to-day basis. And then we push around 80 to 100 code changes and apps every month.
Okay, so that's pretty outstanding scale, especially the velocity that you've realized and the number of people that you're serving. So let's talk about how you've done that, and there's a combination of capabilities, but share with everyone the things that are in place at USAA.
Yeah, so the way we empower everyone is through scoped apps. So anyone can go in and build a scoped app. They're containerized and insulated so they don't harm the rest of the system. And they can use Studio to quickly develop that. It's like an IDE. And also, we have a certification exam. So they have to pass this test and get an 85% or higher to even be a developer on our platform.
You're a tough grader, because when I went to school, it was like D or higher was passing. 85% or higher passing, that's pretty rough.
Yep, B+. So we also do change advisory boards. So we review all the changes that go to production. And then we also have internal hackathons where we get together and build new applications on a regular basis.
Cool. All right, so I want to expand on one of the things that you talked about, which is scopes. So scopes are a part of the platform, and they allow you to isolate an application. And this is actually really important because people sometimes get conflicted about like, hey, if I'm building apps on the platform, am I doing something unsafe? Am I going to limit my ability to upgrade? And so by building everything in scopes, you're sort of insulating that application. You can continue to upgrade, and you don't run the risk of bumping into other people. Yeah. So cool application capability. Everybody in the audience, if you're building apps, build them in scopes. It will help insulate those changes and allow you to continue to move forward with the platform and still let you innovate on top of it. So a couple great platform capabilities, but also awesome innovation. I love your process. We kind of saved the best for the next piece. Your best naming, I think, of all. So tell people about this application.
Yeah, so we have an app called Check Yourself. It's an automated scanning tool to help us check for bad code and configurations before they make their way to prod.
I would love to see it.
Oh, yeah?
Can you share?
Yeah, let's show you.
Let's check it out.
Okay, so here's a dashboard so we can kind of overview and see what people are doing. So on the left, we have all the violations by app, so we can see which apps are causing us the most trouble and aren't meeting our best practices. So you can see right now, change management's on the top.
You didn't write that, did you?
Maybe. And on the right, we have our violated rules. So we can see which rules our developers are struggling with the most. And right now, it's business rules that shouldn't update or insert on before.
Got it. So you can look at that and then change your exam, change your enablement, do all kinds of things based on that data.
Yep.
Okay, very cool.
Train people.
So maybe we see it in action?
Yeah, sure. So here's a widget I'm updating right now. So I need to go in here and I'm changing some code. So I need to finish populating the server-side script to populate the data for the different system statuses.
Okay.
So I actually already have it developed. I'm going to paste it in here.
Cooking show format. Keep it.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go save this. Okay. Oh, man, I just failed one of my rules.
Wrote the test and he still failed the test. You know, shouldn't there be a if it's Tyler, pass, pass, pass?
I tried, man.
All right, so now what happens?
Yeah. So the rule I need to fix, it gives me some description.
All right.
I need to use gr.setLimit so it improves performance and doesn't pull back too many records.
So you not only tell them they failed something, you give them guidance on how to go correct it. Okay,
Exactly.
very cool.
Okay, so I need to go back in here for the order by. Okay, right now we just have 5 apps, so we can increase it later. Okay, I'm going to save that. It's going to run the scan. Oh man, we just got a new email. Looks like I'm good to go.
Fast learner.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty cool. Check Yourself. Love the name, but incredible functionality. I mean, helping your organization achieve scale by letting people start building and then correcting them along the way before something gets too far.
Yep.
So you've got a team that you work with.
Yep.
And you all built this Check Yourself.
Yep.
As a part of, why don't you tell everyone about that?
Yeah, so we did a hackathon like I was mentioning earlier, and we actually built this app in under a week, and we did some peer programming along the way. So this is my team that helped me develop it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Tyler.
Yeah,
Big round of applause for Tyler, USAA. So this is a great example of an innovative individual, an innovative team, an innovative company where they're building, those are transformation applications in the world of IT. Those are changing the way IT works to help them scale, to help them operate and keep things up and running. They used a combination of platform capabilities with delegated development and scopes, with real innovation in best practices and process. The certification exam, I think, is a great idea. Check Yourself is pretty unbelievable. And actually that change advisory board is a really important control point because you can have a lot of development going on, but making sure there's people who are managing what goes into production is a really critical part of the overall process of scaling safely. And that's really what they've done at USAA. So great example there. So most of the folks in this room know a lot about the platform as it exists today. What we're gonna do now is turn our attention to the technology and spend some time talking about the things that we've heard from you that we're gonna bring to you in upcoming releases to help you build and scale more effectively. And so to do that, I'm really excited to bring up an individual who is also a lover of development, a lover of platforms, and has worked on some of the great platforms in the world. Our head of product for platform, Marcus Torres.
Josh, did you take my clicker? It's okay.
You can't build one?
No.
You build a clicker?
We need a platform for that. Hi, everyone. I have had 2 great loves in my professional career. One was writing code, like many of you out there. But the second is building platforms. And I have heard from you in the last few days And since I joined ServiceNow, the passion for the platform is huge. And I'm honored and humbled to actually show you today the future of where we're taking the platform. Now, unlike many of you, this is actually my first Knowledge. It's my first CreatorCon. Shoot, I mean, it's the first time I wore these kicks, right? And I am super excited to actually inspire you to deliver on the promise that we have owed you for quite a while, which is to really make the world of development work better for you. All right, now you know the platform inside and out. You have muscle memory, you can do business rules and create tables and create workflows, probably blindfolded or after a few drinks in Vegas. But today, I'm gonna show you something a little different. I'm gonna show you the future of the Now platform, and I'm gonna do it based on 4 key pillars. The first pillar is speed. That's why we use platforms, right? Platforms are supposed to help you code, build, and deploy better. You're gonna see some of that speed today. Next, it's really about a connected world, right? Everything is connected today. We're connected to people through social media. We're connected to productivity through applications in the cloud. And every single device we have seems to be connected. Of course, we have our phones, but I have a sous vide machine if you happen to be a cook like me. That's connected. I like the claps. But my kid's bike is even connected. This is a true story. So I know where she rides and kind of the trail she's on. And the foundation of all of those things is data, right? But data is only useful if you can actually interact with it. And being able to bring data together not only is about integration, but it's about automation for your business. The next key pillar is experiences. So I'm gonna date myself a little bit. Macintosh, Windows 95, BlackBerry, iPhone. What did all these have in common? They changed our lives and they changed our world because they actually took something that was very technical and it put a great experience around it. And then we adopted it, and then we used it, and then we changed our lives based on it. That is the power of great experiences. And in order to showcase amazing technology, you need to give people a way to actually interact with it. And you're gonna see some of that great transformation that we're delivering to the Now platform in the future releases. Now, last but not least is something I hear constantly. I imagine there's some of you in the room, we've had meetings here at Knowledge, or meetings individually outside Knowledge, and transformation is happening in your business. And you need to be able to scale that transformation with yourselves and with your teams. And this is one of the areas that we needed to put some serious investment in, and you're gonna start to see some of that today. All right, so I told you about the 2 professional loves in my life, writing code and platform. And honestly, when I get a chance to actually still write code, it's one of the happiest things I can do. But the second is making some beer. And so I want to graduate from the bathtub brewing, don't do that by the way, it's quite stinky, all the way to actually running Glide Brewing. And eventually, if I can quit my day job and just sit behind a keg, that's probably not the worst of my retirement. And so what I wanna start with is speed. I wanna show you that as we are applying these 4 key pillars in the Now platform to transform Glide Brewing, if we can do it for a brewery, imagine what we can do for your enterprise. Now, I wanna welcome up Kris Haas to the stage so he can show you the power of the Now platform with an amazing new feature. Kris, why don't you come on up?
Oh, man.
Hey, Kris.
Hey.
How you doing?
Marcus? Good.
Good. Oh, nice kicks. Look at that.
New
We're
kicks.
matching.
How about that?
Yeah, it's too bright. All right, we're gonna do the cha-cha later. All right, so beer is flowing fast. People love my beer, which is awesome. I like that. That's a good sign. But in order to keep up with that demand, I have to keep up with the brewing process. To do that, that means I need inventory. And I have to tell you, Inventory is something that is constantly managed manually. Clipboards, pencil and paper, but also tons and tons of spreadsheets. I get 13 versions in my inbox every other week. And so I would really love to see how the Now platform can digitize this workflow and change and transform how we do inventory at Glide Brewing.
Well, Marcus, I've just got some great news for you. With some of our latest innovations, we've made it even easier to move to the cloud and digitize those workflows. In fact, it is so fast that I bet you find your best brew over there that we can do it right here, right now.
As a brewmaster, that's an easy bet. Let's do it.
All right, so let me go ahead and fire up a Servicenow instance, and I'll show you how easy this is. Okay, so I'm in the application manager, and what we need to do is create you a new app. So let me go over here and click Create New. Now, in New York, we built this awesome thing called Guided App Creator. It's the new, fast, and intuitive way for building apps on the platform.
Now, Kris, I know ServiceNow, and this isn't looking like ServiceNow. You sure this is it?
Yeah, and guess what? This is actually just a taste of the new Now design system. You're going to start seeing a lot more of these great experiences in the platform. Now let's get started on your app. So, to get started, we first need to give this thing a name. What should we call it?
I'm thinking Brew Ops, right?
How creative of us. All right, so let's also apply your brand by uploading your logo. All right, so now that we have those details in there, let's move on to roles. So this is where we select or create the roles that we want to have access to various parts of this application. So for Brew Ops, what do you say we give access to the manager role, since they need insight into the health of the business? And let's also go ahead and select our warehousing folks, since they actually manage our inventory. So this is going to ensure that they have access to all the awesome things we're about to create. And if we need to tweak that access as we go, we can do that. So with that defined, let's go ahead and select the types of user experiences we want the Brew Ops users to actually be using. And now check this out. One of the options here is a workspace. So you guys have been hearing about workspaces for a while now. And finally, with Guided App Creator, you can actually build your own. Super, super cool. You could even quickly stand up a mobile application. And for those out there that really don't like change, we still got classic lists and forms. But for Brew Ops, what do you say we go ahead and select the workspace for the desktop users, and let's throw in a mobile app as well. Okay, so now that we've selected the types of experiences, let's start defining what's in those experiences by either selecting or creating new data. So now, Marcus, you mentioned you manage your operations in spreadsheets?
Completely.
Completely. Well, check this out. Let's go ahead and create you some new tables, but let's do it using that existing spreadsheet. So with Guided App Creator, we actually added an awesome feature where you can build tables based on existing spreadsheets. So let me show you all how that works. Go ahead and click Upload Spreadsheet here. Go ahead and find the spreadsheet. All right. Now, one thing to point out here is that with the simple check of this one box, we can actually import the spreadsheet data while we're creating the table. This is a huge, huge value add. Super cool feature that we built. So let me go ahead and select that box. And let's continue. Now here you can see that the system went ahead and parsed our spreadsheet and determined that there's 3 worksheets that we can create tables for. So let's go ahead and set up a table for what looks like the inventory worksheet. So at this point, the system went ahead and actually parsed that worksheet and determined all the different fields and the associated field types. And not only that, take a look at the first column here, the shelf column. The system even determined that it's a choice field with these 3 choice types. Now, we can add additional choices, we can remove choices, we can even reorder them, all while we're defining the table. So this is a huge improvement on the current experience where we make you go through multiple steps to do the exact same thing. So I think everything here looks good. Let's go ahead and actually create this table. All right. So in just a few clicks, a little bit of demo magic, we actually went ahead and created new tables using your existing spreadsheet. How cool is that?
It's pretty cool. Within just a matter of minutes, you're actually able to move all of my operations into the cloud very, very easily, which not only gives me a single view of that across my organization, but of course now I can have insights through reporting, analytics, performance analytics as well. And if I don't get any more versions of my spreadsheet, you're definitely gonna get that beer.
Awesome, man. Well, guess what, man? Your spreadsheet days are well over. But let's keep going. So remember that workspace we said we wanted? Let's go ahead and set that up. And to do that, all we really need to do is give it a name and define the access. So what you'll notice here is that a lot of these fields are actually already pre-populated for us based on information we've already told it earlier. So just a quick glance here, I think everything looks good, so let's move on to the next step. So here, this is where we select the types of modules we want in our workspace. Now, modules are the main feature areas, the real meat and potatoes of a workspace. Our options here are home, which gives us a really slick landing page where you can do a lot of cool data visualizations. We also have lists, where we can define the type of data that we want to view and work on within our workspace. And there's also something really cool called inbox. So if you have, say, service desk agents or any type of fulfiller, their incoming tickets can arrive through the inbox. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing to point out here, take a look at lists. So notice that the system has actually already pre-selected the tables that we created earlier in the process. So we're automatically going to get some lists for those tables. Pretty nice. So I think everything here looks good. We're going to take all the modules. Let's go ahead and create the workspace. And that's it. We now have a new workspace waiting for us to operate your business in. Let's check it out. So here it is, Marcus. All of your data, all in one place, all in one great new experience.
I love this new experience, Kris, and I know it's going to help my team. But I'm on the go all the time, and I have to be able to run my business from my phone. And so I know I saw mobile there. Can you show me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, for a road warrior like you, we definitely need to set you up with the mobile app, and you would not believe how easy we've made this. So let me go back into the app creator, go ahead and click Start on the mobile app here. Now, similar to a workspace, it's really easy to set up. We just give it a name, we select the data that we want to have on the mobile application, and we set the access. But one cool thing I want to point out about our mobile offering is that you can even make this application available offline with a simple check of this box. That's right, you can do reads and writes while you're disconnected and have those writes sync back up once you're reconnected. Super cool feature. So let's go ahead and make sure that we select that as well. And that's really all the information we need for a mobile app. So let's go ahead and actually create it. And that's it. In virtually one click, we now have a mobile app that we can use on our phone. Let's check it out.
Let's do it.
All right. So I've got the Servicenow mobile application here, so let's go ahead and open it. So you can see here we've got the Brew Ops application ready for us. We have all of our data, our inventory, recipes, and shipments. Let's go ahead and drill into the inventory. All right. And so from here, I can actually swipe to delete records. I can create new records. Let me go back to the list. And from here, I can actually drill down into a record. And then from here, I can even edit it. Pretty cool. And remember, we did all of this with one simple click. Is that amazing or what?
That is really, really fast. It's
right.
Totally going to change the game for ours.
Now, for the builders out there, this might be all you need. A really quick way to get your data from spreadsheets and into the cloud, spin up a beautiful workspace, and take your data on the go. But for the developers out there, think of this as a really, really fast way to bootstrap your applications and get you moving on solving those truly complex use cases. So what do you say, Marcus? Is that fast enough for you?
You definitely earned that beer, Kris. If this is what you do for one beer, I'm going to start buying you kegs instead.
All right.
Let's get you a beer.
Let's do it. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, yeah. Oh, lovely pour. Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you, Kris.
Thank you.
I want to take a quick moment to recap what we just saw. Now, I'm a developer in my past. I understand that when you have what could look like a wizard, you think, let me just get to code. But the power of what you just saw is I was able to define, design, authorize, and import an entire application in a few minutes. And let's be honest, if we're developers, we actually love getting to the hard problems. We love getting to the code. But in the world where everything's transforming, you just enabled all of the builders to go from idea to app in mere minutes. And for the developers, you're able to get through the boilerplate stuff and get to the things that you love. Now, it's going to also give you the ability to finally create your own custom workspace, which I know we've all been waiting on for some time. Now, let's move beyond speed. Let's talk about our world today. Glide Brewing is like any other business. We're growing fast, and the #1 challenge that we have is how do we keep the quality of our beer the same, even though we're growing at the kind of scale that we're seeing. And in order to do that, it would be amazing if I could automate part of my business and have all of this technology working for me. And I know just the right person who can help me out with this. I want to bring up Rebecca Diaz to the stage to help us ensure that our beer is always the same taste and quality, regardless of our scale. Rebecca, why don't you come on up?
Hey, Marcus.
Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm super excited to be here with everyone.
I gotta tell you, when it comes to today's day and age, I mentioned everything's connected. How can you help me make sure that the consistency of our beer is always the same, regardless of how big or small I am as Glide Brewing?
There's a ton that we can do for you, Marcus, but can you give me some ideas to what some of the challenges that you face are?
Sure. I would say it's probably the same challenge as all of us. We can only be in one place at one time. And that's about being present, right? Being present during the brewing process so I can work with my employees. Being present with my customers to make sure that if they want more hops, we add them to the brewing process. But I have to be honest with you, I have one true love in my life, and that's these two little girls. That's Chloe and Mia, and they are quite cute. And what I will say is when I'm home, I want to be present with them. I don't want to constantly be called and interrupted because that's my time to connect with them. So being present at home is the most important.
That's a very beautiful family. It sounds like you need some help learning how to scale you, the brewmaster?
I think you nailed it, Becky. And in order to scale, I'm thinking the trickiest part of the overall brewing process and what matters to quality is the taste, obviously, right? Now, there's easy things like temperature and managing temperature, but when it comes to the taste of beer, it's all about that fermentation process and the acidity, right? That can really throw it off. What can you do to help me?
Well, you talked about the world being interconnected, so we put some smart IoT devices inside your fermentation tanks. I'm gonna go over here to the demo and show you how we can do some automated remediation for you.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, cool. So in New York, we've done a ton to help our developer community be able to build reusable components. We need the power of code when we want it, but also the ability to automate systems quickly without having to write a lot of code. So in New York, we added some nice features to be able to automate any service endpoint. In this case, I'm gonna show you how to automate that fermentation device. So here, we can now automate any system with an OpenAPI specification. In this case, I've already imported the OpenAPI spec, but you can download them on the fly. Once I pick the OpenAPI, I'm gonna pick the operation that I wanna call. Now, some magic just happened here. So I'm gonna come over here and zoom in. You can see that in my inputs, I have a complex object that was generated for me based on the OpenAPI, which is basically giving me the temperature and the VAT ID. Now, also in that API, it tells me that I need to be sending a JSON payload. So when I drop that complex object, actually it auto-generated this for me, in the request body, it's gonna build that JSON payload for me. That's it, I'm done. I built my automation. So let's switch over to the business process and show how we can actually incorporate that into the integration, into the business process here. So in order to run this business process, the very first thing I need to do is I need to be able to receive data from my source system. So the first thing I'm gonna do is show you how I can build a REST API trigger to get the data from that source system. So I come in here, I grab my REST API trigger, tell it what role I'm gonna run in the system, and how that third-party system needs to authenticate with me. I'm gonna copy the webhook link, and now I'm gonna hit this button, which is gonna start some magic. So keep your eyes here, because I've just made that API go live for a hot second, and I'm gonna go into split screen mode. I'm gonna put in my webhook URL. I'm gonna add my username, my password, and now I'm gonna hit the test button here. And what you see has happened over here on the other side is I've actually taken that payload, auto-generated the inputs, and it knows exactly what data is coming in from that inbound webhook. So now I can use that data in my business process. So I come in here, and I've already set up my conditional here for checking the temperature range. And I'm going to go grab that action we just built 2 seconds ago. Go ahead, plug that in. Now I'm going to use the data that came in from that REST API trigger to determine which VAT ID to adjust the temperature on. There it is, automated remediation play. Now, the other thing you talked about, Marcus, was equivalent to what's a critical incident, right? When the pH is off, you really need to get the team on a call, get them engaged so that you can discuss what the problem is and reconcile that live. So what I'm going to show you here is a couple things. I'm going to switch over to the other business process here. I've made a little progress. I put in my conditional. And you can see here that I've already set up I'm going to make an incident in the system to be able to track that. So inside the incident, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to map that VAT ID again. But I'm noticing something really interesting. The data that's coming from that source system is actually different than the data that my target system needs. I have an integer coming in from the source system, and I need to actually transform that onto the fly to be low, medium, and high. So what's really cool, since I'm a developer, I've got access to some script right here. I'm going to copy and paste that in, and boom. I'm writing some code to switch that integer over into the right high, medium, low level. So now that I've got my incident set up, I'm going to show you how you can use some out-of-the-box content that ServiceNow is providing in order to set up that Zoom meeting for you. Now, I'm going to take a little second to diverge and browse a little slowly here, because I want you to know that we keep adding content, integration content for you. In fact, we're now releasing every month new content to the store. And what's amazing is you not only get new content every month, but you can discover that right from inside the product in New York. Really powerful. I've already installed Zoom, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that puppy up, create my Zoom meeting. And now I'm going to take that Zoom meeting, and I'm going to send it to Twilio so I can text my Brew staff to get them on the line. Let me go ahead and grab my Twilio call, map that data to the current user record so we can send that Twilio message. And I'm going to type in a message here quickly with the Zoom meeting. So Marcus, why don't you come over here with your cell phone, and we're going to go ahead and test this puppy.
Okay. See, I got the text. Opening up Zoom, lots of clicks. You all know this. Hey, it's our head brewer, Pat Casey. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Marcus. Hey, sorry I gotta yell. It's loud in here. But didn't I tell you never to bother me when I'm brewing? I'm brewing here, man. What's going on?
Pat tells me a lot of things. But hey, Pat, we just automated our brewing process, and I think it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm sorry, but I gotta tell you, like, I'm working on a new beer. Check this out. It's the Hazy Casey. It's my branded beer. My name on it. First time in 25 years. Something I built, my name.
Pat, don't you think it's a little weird to name a beer after yourself?
Well, it was that or the Lucky Llama. Marketing didn't like that name, so there you go.
Well, Pat, through this automation, we have IoT devices. You might want to look over your right corner there. Do you mind checking that out for a second?
I can. Yes, I seem to remember my brewing book that red is not a good sign for an indicator light, is it?
Not usually, Pat, no.
Okay, it'd be a pretty big fail on user interface design if it was. I probably got to go deal with that. So, all right, hang on, man. I got to go deal with that. I'm sorry, but I got to go.
All right, well, thanks, Pat. This has been amazing, Becky. You've shown us the power of Flow Designer and Integration Hub. I know we didn't bet a beer, but I got a tap right there. What, you feel like a beer? Let's do it.
All right. See if you know how to pour the beer, Marcus.
If I could have only been a bartender.
All right, that's a good head. That looks good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Becky. Let's
All
thank
right.
Becky.
Woo!
If this breaks, it wasn't the beer that's all over it now. All right. So with Flow Designer and Integration Hub, you just saw how we bring integration and automation together. And this other thing it's doing is it's allowing for developers and builders to also transform and automate their business. Think about what you just saw. You saw Becky create brand new actions that are meant to be reusable. And then those actions are used within a natural flow of process automation. Really, really powerful. And in New York, we completely changed we added a ton of capabilities to Flow Designer and Integration Hub. With what we call the spokes or spoke bundles, we have over 400 specific integrations in Integration Hub in New York. On top of that, we have a really cool feature called introspection, which allows you to deal with your key systems of record and the fact that you've customized them. So all of those customizations will automatically show up when you connect to those systems. And of course, we focused on scale. Scale so that you can do integrations at volume and also have things like data streaming and pagination. All right. Now that we've seen speed and we've also seen integrations, let's take a moment to talk about how we're revolutionizing the Now platform when it comes to amazing experiences. You understand how technology is changing our lives. But in order for us to really grasp those changes, we need to be able to see it. We need to be able to touch it. Well, I guess at Glide Brewing, you probably need to be able to taste it, and I hope to do that shortly. And the reality is we need to make sure that that first experience for our customer at Glide Brewing, which is when they go into the tap room, is a great one. And we've digitized our back office. We've digitized our brewing. Now, let's see how we can transform how those people in the tap room can operate and manage the tap room to ensure our customers have an amazing experience themselves. And to do that, let me please invite up Valerie Christensen, who's going to show us an amazing new change to the Now platform in our UI layer. Valerie, why don't you come on up? Hi, Valerie.
Hey, Marcus. How's business?
Great. We completely revolutionized our warehousing operations using the speed of Guided App Creator. Then, Becky integrated and automated our brewing process so we always have the same quality beer. But now, I need to make sure that the tap room has the same level of transformation and efficiency to ensure that as all of you come up for a beer in our tap room, that it's an amazing experience for them, and I want to make sure that they have a single pane of glass into the tap room.
Well, Marcus, what if you could see your entire tap room real time on one screen? My team has built the Now UI Builder. It's a tool for builders like yourselves to create really engaging user experiences with reusable components and a drag and drop interface. So Marcus, on that workspace that Kris created for you earlier,
Yeah.
I've already created a dashboard. I want to show it to you so you can tell me what you would want to see on it. And then maybe we can show these fine folks the UI Builder. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so this is your dashboard. I put on here your average daily sales, number of beers on tap, employees clocked in, as well as just a list of all the different beers that you brew, which look delicious, by the way.
They are.
All right, what else would you like to see on your dashboard?
Well, this is great. I'm seeing the employees who have checked into the tap room. I'm seeing the actual revenue we did today. But I got to be tracking my top beers.
Makes sense. So to add or edit anything on the dashboard, you go into the Now UI Builder by clicking on this Edit button up here. Here in the center is the canvas where you can create your experiences. And then over here on the left are all of the different components that you can drag and drop onto the canvas. So you no longer have to use forms and lists to create UIs on the Servicenow platform. All right, Marcus, you want to see your top selling beers? I think I can give you something even better than that. We've integrated with performance analytics. So now, as I put this onto your canvas, I can configure it to use your historical sales data as well as machine learning to predict your future sales.
This is really powerful, I think for two reasons, Valerie. The first reason is we can take functional components of the Now platform that is across all of our applications and allow you to essentially have that componentized and place that where it makes sense for your business. The second part is the power of our intelligence layer in the Now platform. By having that intelligence baked in, I not only can forecast where my revenue and sales is gonna be, but that helps me optimize both my inventory and my brewing process. Really powerful.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Let me tell you what else this can do. So IoT is all about data, and data becomes really powerful when you can wrap an experience around it and put that data to work. So I talked to Becky earlier, and we put some sensors on all of your kegs over there that can monitor not only the temperature, but how much beer you have left. The catch is, we don't have a component out of the box that tells you how much beer you have left. However, this is where our developers come in. In order to support our developers in this UI layer, we've created an IDE plugin so that you can use the experience that you know and love to create custom components that can be integrated back into the UI builder. So Marcus, why don't I go ahead and make a component for you that tells you how much beer you have left.
And we're in an IDE, I'm getting excited.
All right, I created a project. I'm gonna call it Essen Keg. And now I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna create a new component. Call it Essen Keg Status. This IDE provides all the features like linting, syntax support, IntelliSense, and live templates. I'm not exactly sure where to start with this component, so I'm gonna go to the font of all knowledge, Stack Overflow, and you know what? Copy and paste never hurt anyone, am I right? So just do that. And then I'm gonna test this locally in my environment just to make sure that it looks all right and give you guys a little bit of a preview. There it is. All right, so now I'm going to push this up to my instance. So what's important here to note is that old Servicenow used Angular, but now we are using the latest web technology. I just registered this component with the new Servicenow Front-End Framework. Now that I'm back in the UI builder, I'm gonna go ahead and refresh so that we can pull that component into the screen. And then I'm actually going to add a section container onto this so that I can visually group all of my keg components. I just like the way that looks. And now I'm going to check, and my custom component should be up here. There it is. And now I'm just going to drag and drop this onto the screen. So what's really cool is that all of these components are reusable. So this first component, I'm going to configure to use the Hazy Casey. And then the second one, I'll do the same thing, and I'm going to configure it to use the platform pills. What's also really neat is, as you can see, as I'm dragging and dropping these onto the screen, they're taking up the available space to them. But since you have 4 beers on tap, whenever I drag and drop this fourth one on, they're actually going to redistribute themselves to take up all of the available space and be even across the canvas.
Wait. As a developer, what I hated more than anything was CSS. And you know what CSS stands for, right? Conflicting style sheets. And through the power of this, it deals with all of that for me, which gives me the power to have the layouts I want without the complexity of dealing with CSS. But it also gives me the flexibility to really create the kind of experiences and components that we need by composing that from our base components. It looks amazing.
Thanks. This tool completely upgrades. Thank you.
You can clap, go ahead.
It's pretty cool. Like, as you guys saw, this tool completely upgrades using the experience of building on the ServiceNow platform. So you wanted to see your taproom operations at a glance. I'm going to go up here and just publish this so we can see it live. So we edited this entire page, including making a custom component with a little copy and paste help, in less than 10 minutes. So with this tool in Orlando, admins will be able to configure and customize their workspaces. This tool and the goal of it was so that you guys could quickly and easily create really beautiful UIs on the ServiceNow platform. All right, Marcus, this is live. I think you need to liven up. So why don't you grab yourself a beer, and we'll see this in action.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Looks pretty awesome.
That does, until I over-poured this beer.
It was a heavy pour.
I guess I'll probably have to keep my day job after all. That's all right. Look at this. Movie magic. Other beer. Well, Valerie, this has been amazing. I think you deserve this beer.
You know what, Marcus? I would love to, but I'm actually expecting a baby.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, if I can't give you a beer, at least we can rename one of the beers for you. How about we call it the Mama Llama Lager?
I love it. Thank you so much. You know, I have always wanted to have a beer named after myself.
You and Pat Casey, he just had to wait 25 years.
I'll hold that over him.
Right.
Thanks, Marcus.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Come on. Yeah, you get a beer. It's Vegas. Let's do it. I'll have some later. Hopefully no one takes pictures at Topgolf. Okay, here's the deal. This is the beginning of a completely rehaul of our UI layer on the Now platform. We are making sure that when we invest in this new UI technology layer, that it is future-proof. What does that mean? It's going to be a component-based, web component-based, standards-based framework. And that framework is going to allow you to create those amazing custom experiences by composing those from our base components. You're then going to have a library of reusable components that are functional and can give you a lot of that power without having to build that yourself. And of course, having the amazing Now UI Builder, which gives you that drag and drop interface so that you can create these amazing experiences yourself. And just think about it, just like the other two pillars that you saw earlier today, this brings the developers that build amazing components for reuse and the builders together. And that's where we're going to start to see that ramp in transformation across the enterprise. All right, so we have seen quite a few things today. We have seen the speed of the guided app creator, all of the amazing new capabilities of Integration Hub. And now was your first foray into the new UI layer on the Now platform. But I'm going to talk about something a little different. Now I want to talk about all of you. We need to scale in order to deliver on the promise of the transformation that we have in our enterprises. And that's not just scaling yourselves, it's scaling as a team. Development is a team sport, unless you're in the zone and your headphones are on and you just block everybody out, right? And in order to do that level of transformation, we need to make sure that we give you the right tools to be able to develop as a team and scale at the speed of business. So we've kicked off a new initiative at ServiceNow called DevX. And I know that Sharon Carmichael, our lead designer on this effort, is going to help show you the new vision of developing on the Now platform. Sharon, why don't you come on up?
Hey, Marcus.
Ooh, you got the Transformer music. Did you hear it?
Ooh,
Nice.
pretty exciting. So this is my first CreatorCon, and I am excited to talk to you all about something I'm really passionate about. Reimagining developer experiences to be seamless, intuitive, and easy to use. Now think back on everything we showed you about Glide Brewing over the last 30 minutes. Very cool, but 3 separate designers. Now imagine if we were able to seamlessly integrate all of those designers and developer tools into one unified experience. That'd be pretty cool, right? Well, we heard you when you said that you wanted great developer experiences. And not only did we listen, we are naming our new developer experience after all of you here, our amazing ServiceNow creators. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the new Creator Studio. So this is our refreshed UI. It's clean, it's modern, and it's personalized to all of you. It has all of your recent projects on the right here, so you can get back to doing all the work that you have to do. It also has visibility to the instance down here at the bottom, so you can keep up to date on everything that's changing and when. And it even has an enhanced search, so you can find all the things you need to get your work done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this recent file called the tap room. And it's going to take me into something new. We heard you when you said you do more than just create apps. So we created this, our project home for you, so you can be oriented to everything that you need to do in your project. We've got multiple experiences, we've got logic, we've got data, we've got everything you need. And you can even search and add more items to your project as you go. Now I'm going to click right here on this thumbnail, and let's see what it does. It's going to take me immediately into the UI builder. And here I have Glide Brewing's taproom dashboard. And I can easily click on a module to edit it. And we've overloaded this panel on the right for properties. We've overloaded it, so it has data and logic. And we're making it work for you. Now I can click, and I can see all of the approvals that are related to that module right here. I have my keg level monitor, and I can easily click, and then I'm in Flow Designer. Pretty cool, pretty seamless, and we keep you oriented. Yeah, that's right. Pretty amazing. We keep everything oriented for you because we have the tabs at top, and you can always get back to your project home. Now let's go back to project home because we have a few more things to show you.
All right, Sharon, you're a designer, and I love you. I really do. But I love writing code, and I know a bunch of the audience does as well. And what we heard and what we're promising is an amazing new way to write code as a team. So we're back here on Project Home, and you can see over here on the right-hand side, there's this little icon. What does that do? It brings up a source control panel. Imagine that, developers, code, source control. All right, so here's the deal. If you dig into this source control panel, it's gonna actually tell you exactly what repo you're on, and in Orlando, we are gonna allow you to connect to your on-premise GitHub repo via support on the mid server. It also allows you to see what branch you're currently checked out on and how many commits you are behind. Now, if you are not using Git within your organization, you'll still have all these capabilities natively on the Now platform. Okay, when I develop code, what do? We go in the morning, we sync the latest changes, I'm gonna get started on the next set of my work, and of course, I'm gonna have to branch. Now, I'm not talking about branch into nowhere where you can never merge back. You can branch and you'll be able to merge, and I'll show you that in just a bit. Here I'm gonna create a new branch. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a name. And then as soon as I hit the check mark, that actually created a branch in my GitHub repo, okay? Now that I have that, you can also see on the actual project home that it tells you that you're on a different branch. Okay, let's get into some code. So I'm gonna go into my business rule. In my business rule, I'm seeing all the metadata of the business rule itself, but I'm also gonna see the code. So I'm gonna make a quick change. I'm gonna delete a row. And then here's the reality. I know other people are developing on my instance with me. So Ben has made a bunch of changes himself. And I want to make sure that when we go to merge, we remove as many conflicts as possible. And so I can actually look at Ben's changes right next to mine. And because I like code, even though I can see the metadata changes as well, I want to see the full diff view. And this is going to help me understand the changes he made and the changes I'm making to really remove some of those merge conflicts and make it easier to do development. What do you think, Sharon?
Well, I helped design it, so I think it looks really great, and I love the white UI. But I have a lot, I have a lot of developer friends, and they really love the dark side. So we're going to add theming, so all of you can go as dark as you want.
Sharon,
Okay?
you want dark? Wait till you see me later tonight. All right. So here's the deal. With some kind of demo magic, we're going to fast forward this instance, right? And I'm going to go back to Project Home. And because I have multiple developers working on an instance together, there's a bunch of changes and not just mine. And so if I go back to that source control panel, you can see that in that area, I can see all of the changes that are happening in my organization, not just the ones I made. So I'm going to go ahead and view my changes now. Product managers like myself, but I still love being a developer. Product managers and designers, what do they do to all of us developers? They stop by our desk, they say, stop working on it. I need you to work on something else. That's the priority right now. And of course, that means I have to stop the development I'm in. That means a certain amount of my code and my changes are ready and other ones aren't. So in Orlando, you're going to be able to do a selective commit. That's right, no more trying to parse update sets endlessly. You can just deselect the things that aren't ready and go ahead and commit all of the things that are ready. And so you can see, more time. And so what you'll be able to see down here in the bottom right is that there's two buttons. One is to commit, right? And then the other one is commit and initiate a pull request. And so that pull request is going to allow you to go and send that back to your GitHub repo, and you'll manage that PR just like any other code you do in your organization. And this, combined with some of your CI/CD tools, is really going to allow you to move further and faster as a team when it comes to development on the Now platform. All right, there's pretty cool commits, PRs. What do you think, Sharon?
I think it's pretty amazing. I've been married to a developer for almost 20 years. I know how to commit.
I'm not touching that one. All right. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you for the amazing work that you and the team have done. Everyone's gotten a beer. Is it time for you as well?
It's been time since you started talking, Marcus.
Ouch,
Yeah.
ouch. All right, Sharon. Well, let me get you a beer.
No, I know you love your beer, but it's Thursday, it's Vegas, it's CreatorCon. I brought something much stronger, and I'll be enjoying it later.
This is why I always hang out with designers. I'll see you in about 3 minutes. What you just saw was the first part of our journey in what we call DevX. And it's really focused on all of you. We want you to be able to scale your development as a team. We want you to have a seamless environment when you develop. And instead of having 16 tabs open and going in between different things. And of course, we want to be integrated into the processes and the source code systems that you already have. So just to recap today, you've seen incredible innovations in our platform when it comes to speed. You saw how we're making code and codeless integrations work with Flow Designer and Integration Hub, and all of the great new pre-built integrations we're delivering. The future of the UI layer within the Now platform is changing. All of that technology is behind Workspace in the applications that you see today. But starting in Orlando, you'll be able to leverage that yourself. And of course, you're going to be able to transform yourself, your teams, your organization, and your life with scale as working as a team with development. All right, It's Vegas. It's Thursday. I'm definitely done. I've been ready for a drink. Let's bring Josh back out just to close this out. What do you think?
I think you deserve a beer, Marcus.
Great. Can I steal the clicker too? All right.
No, you
Thank
can't.
you.
I'm going to keep the clicker. All right. Thank you all very much for joining us today. It's a great team. And believe it or not, they're not paid actors. Those are the people actually designing and building this new experience for you, this new developer experience, and these new capabilities. So next steps. So if you're new to this, go and learn. Join the community. Join the over 300,000 developers that are already in there. There's a lot of materials for you. You can learn from your peers. That's how you get started. That's the foundation. The next step is build. You know, everyone in this audience can start today building with the no-code tools. Many of you are probably already developing with the pro-code tools. Start with the productivity apps, move on to the transformation apps, change your company. And then lastly, if you're already an expert, please participate in the community. Help others get to where you are. We're gonna provide a platform to build applications on. We're gonna provide you scale and productivity. And we're counting on all of you to truly transform the future of work. Thank you very much.